Okay, welcome. Tomasio here. Tonight we're going to go through the San Damiano cross, why it needs to come out of all the churches. This was me when I first discovered the phallic symbol on the cross. This is a YouTube video.
Here at Franciscan University of Steubenville in Ohio, people are leaving Mass right now, Catholic Mass, celebrated by Bishop Jeffrey Monforton.
Okay.
Beautiful image here of Mary, Our Lady of Fatima. Okay, so Mary's here, and she was the message this week, defending the faith, crucifix here. You can see this is the San Damiano crucifix, and clearly the phallic symbol was put on this image of Jesus Christ, which is so clear. It's so clear, yet
Okay, now the thing I want you to see is, okay, that's my initial. I was shocked.
It's so offensive, but people have to see this.
I was shocked. All right, now look.
Understand the seriousness of what's going on.
452 people have seen this video.
I am asking Tomasio, okay?
452 views.
And I am asking, pleading, begging Father Sean Sheridan, Bishop Jeffrey Monforton, to have this sacrilegious phallic symbol removed from the image of Jesus Christ, our Lord, our God, our Savior.
Okay, so that was me, and that was the Defending the Faith conference in August of 2015. Okay, now, I told everybody there, I told everybody there who I saw, I let them know what I saw, and they all saw it too. Okay, now, but it's still there. You understand? This is the same, you can see, and there's a phallic symbol here. People will say, oh, well, that's just the stomach area. It's not the stomach area, guys. We've examined this. There's no, do you see what I mean? There's no muscle. There's no two-dimensional anywhere on this body here. Okay? Nowhere on this body do we have a two-dimensional except here. You understand? This was done intentionally. It's not the artist here. That's not his style. This was an intentional phallic symbol added to this icon, and there are, there's no reverence for Mary. That's another sign. If you're looking for something satanic, he's not going to honor Mary. That's for sure. Now, Mary's just one of the few here. This one's holding something like a phallic. This one's holding a phallic here. This image is loaded with stuff. You could pick it apart all day. It's clearly not a crucifixion scene because we know Mary was talking to her son while he was dying. For this rope to be just laying here like this, and then this here like this, I mean, this is bad news. This clearly is bad news. So I brought it to the attention of everybody there, and I got persecuted. I got told I was crazy. I got told I needed counseling. It's not there. I was told it's not there. Okay? If you want to believe it's not there, that's up to you. But the point is this. It's not going away, and it's bad. This is something really, really bad that's going on. And the Franciscans have got to step up and take responsibility for this. It was St. Francis. So the Franciscans have got to step up and take responsibility. Now, the point here is this, clearly. St. Francis is a saint. No one is disputing that St. Francis is a saint. Everyone agrees. St. Francis was a saint. But you have got to understand the story. Francis was not a saint in the beginning of his life. and he was a partier, and God only knows what he was involved with. He came back from the Crusades. He was sick of some. All his buddies are out there fighting, okay, and he comes home because he's sick. Now, he's probably low self-esteem happening. Not, you know what I mean? Not much good going on in Francis's life at this time. Didn't like to work with his dad. And so he was just hanging out one day and found the ruins of a church that had been, either torn down or poor construction, and it just crumbled. Who knows? But the Catholic Church takes the sacred things out of churches when they close. And this was not taken out. This was left in that church. So Francis picks it up, and it starts talking to him and telling him to rebuild the church. Now, I don't know about you, but okay, I'm in this run-down, old, torn-down, dilapidated remnants of a church, and then all of a sudden a cross that I see has a big phallic symbol on the stomach starts talking to me, telling me to rebuild the church. So, okay, all right. So I'm like, okay, I got nothing else going on in my life. I guess I'll rebuild this church. So he ends up stealing from his dad, getting his mom upset. They had to go before the bishop because Francis wasn't listening to anybody. So he goes, starts rebuilding this old church, and taking all his dad's stuff because Francis had nothing. And so the building project had begun. Now I'm not sure all this is documented, but a certain time after, the dad demanded the bishop address the situation, and the bishop did. And Francis, after spending all this time in the presence of this thing right here, he decides he's going to take all his clothes off in public, and he does a striptease act. Gives his dad his clothes, bare naked, in front of his mom. She had to be humiliated. Nudity wasn't a popular thing back then. And here's Francis stripping naked. So the bishop was very embarrassed, had him covered up, and then I guess, agreed to meet with Francis and maybe give him some counseling, whatever. Help him sort this thing out. It was a disaster. It was a disaster for Francis. And thank God the church intervened to help the guy. So, as we know, Francis eventually became a great saint. He loved God. He was an evangelist. He evangelized Muslims. He didn't fear death. He loved God and nature. Francis was an amazing saint. He was very hard on himself, his body. He didn't really allow himself to feel any pleasure, If there was a beautiful woman walking by, he would throw himself in a thorn bush. These are some of the stories that are told about the guy. Okay, so what we do know, there was witnesses that he received the stigmata at the end of his life. I have no reason to doubt that, okay? And he's a saint. And Pope Francis is named after St. Francis. But we have an issue here. This is not giving Francis any honor whatsoever to hang this cross up all over. First of all, it's insulting to Jesus. It's very devastating to the Blessed Mother. And it does no good for Francis, because what it does is it focuses on a time of his life when he was not serving God and he was misled. And he asked Clare to keep it out of public. She did. And then 1958, somebody from the Vatican has this image come out of hiding for the public to see. And there's tons of people making a lot of money on this image. This is horrible, okay? This is not anything as Catholics that we should be proud of at all. You want to put that image in a museum somewhere and talk about, phallic cults in Assisi at the time? Go ahead. But this is not appropriate for Catholic churches. So I'm asking, once again, really, I believe it's the Franciscans who have got to step up. It's their fallacy. It's their error. They got to step up. They said, we're taking down, we're asking everybody to pull back on the San Damianos and, make it public. I think it'd be a great statement. It would be humbling.
but it would be a chance to promote really good sacred art as opposed to buffoon Jesuses or whatever, phallic worshiping Jesus. I mean, this is horrible, okay? This is just horrible. So Franciscan University, that you should really step up because you've done more to promote this image than any organization probably on this earth. Okay, Nelson's books, gifts, they're a big distributor of this. I'm just asking, please, for Jesus and Mary to come clean. Okay, just come clean on this thing. It's not that hard to see through this. Nothing works to defend it as of God. Nothing works, not even the history of Francis of Assisi. Thank you.